Suspense is one of the most powerful tools you can use as a writer to get your reader hooked into your story. But what is suspense? What is it? Well, suspense is just using energy, the buildup of energy, to reveal something cool in your story. So instead of saying something like, I saw a leprechaun standing in front of me, that's kind of dull. It's really boring. There's no buildup to it. There's nothing that gets me excited before telling me a leprechaun is standing in front of you. We want to build up that energy. We want to do it really, really slowly. So our goal today, our challenge, is to plan for a suspense paragraph that reveals a leprechaun. We want to plan for it. Always important to plan before you write. So here are some ideas that are running through my head right now. Got some crazy ideas in my head. I've also got some more I wanted to share with you. Let's begin our planning phase. What's the first thing we want to plan for whenever we're writing a suspense paragraph to reveal something super cool? We want to build up a setting. We want to have a setting that the story takes place. So let's write setting down together. Let's write the setting down. I'm going to be sharing some of my ideas. And the first idea that comes to my mind is a forest. I want this revelation of a leprechaun to take place in a forest. That's just how I'm thinking right now. And what time of day do I want it to be in? I want it to be at night. That's just how my mind works. I could have done it in the daytime, but in my brain, it's telling me I want to do it at night. So that's how I'm going to be building this. You can set yours up day or night. Now, what should I do to mention that it's nighttime? I need to reveal to the reader that it's at nighttime without telling them that it's nighttime. It's kind of boring when, a story you're reading is like, well, it was nighttime. We got to get more creative in that. So how do we tell the reader that it's nighttime without saying it's nighttime? Well, what comes to my mind is either the character is holding some sort of a lantern. Okay, if it was nighttime and you're walking through a forest, you're probably holding a lantern, a flashlight, or probably even a torch. I think torches are much cooler though. I think that's the one I'm going to use. I'm going to be using a torch. I'm imagining my character, who is a female. I'm going to imagine it's a female. She's going to be holding a torch and walking through the forest. Okay, now enough for setting. Let's go to something called a red flag word or a red flag statement. So everybody write red flag word. Okay, what are red flag words? Red flag words are super cool. Red flag words tell you that something major is about to happen. Like if you were reading something and then you saw just then, and by the way, red flag words always have a comma after them. Just then, something big is about to happen. Or if I said something like without notice, let's write that down. Without notice, something big is about to happen. Or if I said, in the blink of an eye, something's about to go down. Or if you saw suddenly, it's about to go down. It's going to happen. Something big is about to happen. There's a lot more, but this is like just a brainstorm that I might use some of these when I write my suspense paragraph. Remember, we're planning for this now. We're just planning. The next thing you want to do is you want to have some clues. You want to have some clues that lead up to the leprechaun being revealed. So I'm going to write clue 1. And we want the clues to start small and then build up to something really, really exciting. Okay, so clue number 1, the first thing I'm thinking of, leprechaun. I've seen some leprechaun movies. They kind of glow sometimes. I'm going to say there's a glowing bush. I'm going to say there's a green glow. I would imagine a leprechaun glowing green, perhaps. So there's a green glow from a bush. Okay, so there's a green glow coming from a bush. All right, so that's my first clue. So I may say something like, just then I saw a green glow coming out of a bush or something to that nature. I mean, that's pretty interesting. That'll get a reader hooked into your story. If your character sees a green glow from a bush, I definitely want to read more to see what's going on because it's mysterious. So that's my first innocent clue. Clue number 2, I'm going to make it a little bit more exciting. Clue number 2, I'm going to say that from the corner of my eye. So I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking of a shadow zipping across, like from behind the trees. I'm imagining my character sees a shadow just going zoom, zipping through, but they don't see it in front of them. They see it from the corner of their eye. I want to make it really mysterious. So it's like coming from the side. So I'm going to say from the corner of my eye, and I'm going to be reading this story in the first person. Yes, it's a story about a woman, but I'm going to write it in the first person. So from the corner of my eye, what do I see from the corner of my eye? Well, I see a shadowy figure I see a shadowy figure. And I'm not going to say they were running. I'm not going to say they were lunging or anything. I'm going to say they were zipping. I saw from corner of my eye, a shadowy figure zip behind the trees. I'm going to say that's how I'm imagining this. Imagining a bunch of trees and this shadowy figure zipping from behind the trees. Let's write that in. All right. And one more clue before we say it's a leprechaun. So clue number 3, we're going to say, what am I thinking of? Okay, I like this idea. So we're starting far, we're getting close. We start with a green glow of a bush, then we get to a shadowy figure from the corner of our eye, probably still a little bit further away from us. But then the third clue is going to be really close to the character, and this is going to really spook them out. I'm going to imagine a twig snapping. Snapping. Here, how do you write snapping? Snapping. I'm just imagining a twig snapping behind me. Okay, so I'm going to write this in the first person, which means I become the character. So there's a twig snapping behind me, and that's really going to spook me out. So now that we've got our 3 clues, what we need to do is we need to have a reaction, our character reacting for every clue. We need to have our character reacting for every single clue, and it has to be realistic, okay? So imagine yourself being the character. How would you realistically react to everyone? Generally, we want the first clue to be very dismissive. So what a character typically does when they see the first clue happening, like a green glow from a bush, you're not totally spooked out. You're not really spooked out when you see that happening. You often dismiss it. You often dismiss it as something innocent. So you come up with an excuse. You convince yourself that, hey, it's nothing major. It's probably nothing, right? And you come up with something that's realistic, okay? You're not gonna be like, well, it's probably nothing. It was probably my brother hanging around no, like whose brother hangs around in the forest holding light in the bush, right? It's not realistic. You want to think of something realistic. So let's brainstorm this. Let's have a reaction 1. So I'm going to actually spell, I was going to write RXN for short for reaction, but I'm actually going to spell the word reaction 1. So if I saw a green glow from a bush, I think the first thing I would do is I would probably walk up to it. I would cautiously walk up to it. Okay, so now look, if I was running, okay, hold on a second. Let's erase this here. This is real time, guys. I'm not planning this out. I'm just talking and writing at the moment. I'm showing you how I think if I'm writing this. So if I was, I may slow down. I might have been running at first, maybe because it's dark, right? I'm holding a torch. And I am maybe running through the forest, trying to maybe just get to my car or something like that. But then I see a glowing bush. I'm going to slow down. So let's write this down. I'm going to slow down. That's the first thing I would do. I would absolutely slow down first. And I would walk to the bush, walk cautiously to the bush. I'm not writing complete sentences. I'm just jotting some notes down. And what else would I do? I would probably wave my torch. I would wave my torch probably towards the bush to see what's inside. Towards the bush. Okay, so I'm not writing complete sentence. I'm just writing wave torch towards the bush. And then I'm going to imagine the flash disappears. So this green glow, the flash disappears. So whatever was glowing, I'm going to make vanish. Okay, so what's the character going to think now? They're not going to think, oh, it's a leprechaun. No, because they're not expecting a leprechaun. I think the first thing, if it was me, I'd be like, it was glowing. Like, what glows in the forest at night? Maybe fireflies. I mean, they're pretty bright in the forest at night. Sometimes they can get really bright. So I may think right now, I'll just tell myself, and I won't tell myself, I'll convince myself. Okay, remember, we got to dismiss it. Convince myself that it's just nothing. It's just fireflies. I mean, it's reasonable, right? Fireflies, they're pretty bright in the forest. They glow bright. Okay, and then what do? All right, I continue. I continue in my path. I continue along my path. Nothing suspicious at all. All right, so that's my first reaction. Now look how much I wrote for this reaction. This is all planning, guys. I haven't even started writing sentences yet. But look how much I planned just for my reaction, because you want to go slow. You want to talk a lot about how the character's feeling and what they're thinking. So then we move to reaction number 2. Reaction number 2. What are we going to do for reaction number 2? We see it from the corner of our eye, a shadowy figure zipping behind the trees. That is not something that happens normally. Okay. That's not fireflies. Okay. If there's a shadow zipping by you in the forest at night, that's going to scare the bejeegers out of me. So what am I going to do is I'm probably going to gasp. I'm going to gasp. I'm going to be like, like, not like that. I'll be like more like, like I will absolutely gasp. First thing you do is you gasp and then you stop in your tracks. First the gasping, then you stop. Nobody stops and then gasps. You gasp first, and at that same moment, you stop. I mean, I guess you could stop and then gasp. I mean, that's pretty realistic too. But I think gasping and then stop in my tracks. Okay, so I just continued on my pathway, and then the shadow happens. I'm going to gasp. I'm like, I'm going to stop in my tracks. And then I'm going to immediately do what? Point my torch towards where the shadow was. Okay, the shadow is like gone, probably. But I'm going to wave my torch to light up the area, because if I can light it up, I might be able to see what's there. So I'm going to immediately point my torch in that direction. Okay, in that direction. In the direction of the shadow. I'm just going to write in that direction for now. This is my planning phase. I'm probably going to call out. I'm going to say something.
Yo, who's there?
I'm going to call out and say hello. I'm probably going to say hello. Is anyone there?
Yo, who's there?
Is anyone there? Okay. At this point, I'm really nervous. I don't see anything there. So I'm going to say, I don't see anything there. I don't see anything there. I don't see anything. Or not anything. I mean, I see trees. So I'm not going to write anything. I'm going to say, I don't see anyone. This little thing doesn't want to disappear there. I don't see anyone there. If I said I don't see anything, I mean, there's trees there. There's like, I could see trees. I'm pointing a flaming torch at it. Of course, I'm going to see stuff, but I don't see anyone there. I don't see anyone there. Okay. My heart's kind of, I'm probably, my heart's pounding because I swear I saw something. My heart's pounding. But again, you dismiss it. But you will also dismiss it. You convince yourself. What could you tell yourself if that happens to you? What can you possibly tell yourself? You can't be like, oh, it's my brother, or he's probably my brother playing trick. No, whose brother does that? Nobody does that. It doesn't happen when you're walking in a forest in the middle of nowhere, right? So you got to get something realistic. If this happened to me, I'd probably think I'm going crazy. I'll be like, hold on. You convince yourself that maybe that, I don't know, you're tired. You're seeing things. That you are seeing things. Maybe it's been a long day. Things. I don't know. You're tired. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. We could say that. It's been a long, long day. And you really need some sleep. So we could, that's definitely a possibility here. Let's see here. What do you do then? You increase your pace. You're still nervous. So you increase your pace. You continue walking, but faster. Increase your pace. Okay, because you're still nervous. I mean, you're telling yourself, oh my God, like I'm probably going crazy here. Like I need some sleep. You know, I'm seeing things. But deep down inside, you know there's something there. Okay, you know there's something there. So you walk a bit faster to get out of there as soon as possible. Then we have one more reaction. That's for our third clue. Now, what happens in the third clue again? What did I say? I said reaction 3 is going to be a twig snapping behind me. Okay. This is where things get very, very exciting because now you're walking fast, maybe you're running fast, and then a twig snaps behind you. Okay, not in front of you, but behind you. That's always suspicious, mysterious, exciting, thrilling when that happens in a story. So what do you do then? If this happened to me and a twig snapped behind me, I think most people, what they would do is they would spin around to see what's there. You might come to a complete stop, or you will spin around and keep going backwards, but you would definitely slow down so you can observe. So let's write this down here. So I would say I would turn around. I don't know if I'd come to a complete stop. Maybe I would. So I'm going to turn around while walking backwards, I'm going to say. While walking backwards. Okay, I want to tell the reader that, you know what, I'm still moving. I'm walking backwards slowly. Because if I go too fast, I won't be able to really see or observe or pay attention to what's possibly on the ground or walking behind me. But nothing is there. Nothing is there. You see how exciting this is? This is way better than saying, oh, I saw a leprechaun. No, you're building up the energy. Okay, so what's happening here? Twig snapped. I turn around while walking backwards slowly. Nothing is there. So what? Then, okay, what am I thinking here? How would the leprechaun reveal? I'm imagining the leprechaun is suddenly behind me and I trip on him. Okay, but I don't know that yet. Okay, I'm just the character. I don't know there's a leprechaun, but I don't even know there's a leprechaun, right? I've never seen a leprechaun before. So, as a character, even a real, like, who's seen a leprechaun? They're mythical creatures. Beings, people. Are they people? I don't even know. But here they are. Nothing is there. So I'm going to say I trip. Okay, now as I trip, I fall backward. So, and fall backwards. Now, if I'm falling backwards, I don't want to drop my torch. So I trip and fall backwards. I clench my torch. I'm going to clench it so it doesn't fall on the ground and start a forest fire. So I'm going to clench my torch. I'm going to clench it really hard. My feet will go above me. That's a really good way of saying I'm falling. I want to say I'm falling without saying I'm falling. I want to show the reader what it looks like to fall. So I'm going to clench my torch. My feet, I could see my feet are above me, above my head. Okay, and I'll build up the energy. I'll build up the clues once I start writing in another video. And there we go. We have our 3 clues. We have our 3 reactions. And now the revelation. Here, let's change the color of the revelation. Let's make the revelation super purple, deep purple. Revelation. Let's put the leprechaun maybe shining my shoe while I'm on the ground. Of course, I'm on the ground, right? Maybe the leprechaun is shining my shoe. Let's write leprechaun here. Let's put him up here. Leprechaun. Leprechaun shining my shoes. Of course, he's at my feet. I'm on the ground. He's shining my shoes. And he says...
Is that me gold? That's it. Is that me gold? That's it.
I just want me gold. I just want, because they don't speak proper grammatical English. They don't say, I want my gold. They say, I want me gold.
Is that me gold? That's it.
I want me gold. I want me gold. That's all he wants. And yeah, there we go. So that's how you plan a suspense paragraph. In the next video, we're going to actually write the paragraph. You can definitely get a head start. The key takeaways here is get your setting down. If it's a forest or whatever, if it's nighttime, don't say it's night. Give clues that it's night so the reader can figure it out on their own. If it's daytime, you definitely want to give clues to reveal it's daytime without saying it's daytime. Make sure you have red flag words before every clue. Oh, and that's another thing. We could say, maybe here we could say just then. And for the second clue, we can maybe say suddenly. And maybe in the third clue, we could pick a different one. Something like in the blink of an eye. Not in the blink of an eye. I don't like that one. Maybe without notice. Without notice, a twig snapped behind me. Okay. But for every single clue, you want to use a red flag word. And then you want to reveal the reactions each time. But there you have it. That's how you plan for a suspense paragraph. In the next video, we're going to learn how to write the actual paragraph. I'll see you then.